Hi everybody, I'm just about to interview Wayne, who is well, I'll allow Wayne to introduce himself. Wayne, how are you doing?
Good, fine, thank you.
So Wayne, if you could just say to people who you are and what you do.
I'm an attorney here in Decatur, Georgia.
Right.
And work at 220 Church Street.
Great.
In Decatur, Georgia.
So people from London will be seeing this, Wayne. So just wanted to ask you a couple of questions about the current economic climate that we're having in the world. It's a global recession, as they say.
Right.
There's a lot of talk that we're coming out of the recession. But I just wondered, from your opinion, being an attorney in Atlanta, I don't know who your clients are. There's lots of different categories of people. You've got the subprime, low-income earners, then you've got the middle class, and then you've got the higher class. And, you know, there's a lot of talk about the middle class being affected by this economic climate. The middle class being wiped out, some people say those sort of things because of changes that are happening in government. And I just wondered, to you as an attorney, have you seen any changes? Has it affected you, this economic climate, personally, in regards to business and in your personal life?
Well, yeah. Basically what I would say is, contrary to popular belief, not all lawyers are rich or make fabulous amounts of money. But what happens is you represent a certain economic class, and you help them with their problems, whether it be an auto accident or a criminal problem. And a lot of my clients have always been in the lower socioeconomic spectrum. Okay? And business-wise, on the criminal front, my business has been devastated by the global recession. Okay? And we're fortunate. I think we are climbing out, but it's going to be very, very slow. The world economy almost, in my opinion, came very close to having the Great Depression, which would have been something like the 1930s. And while we complain here in the United States about 10 or 15% unemployment, it could have been much, much higher.
Mm. So that's great. You said, I find it interesting that you said the criminal element is affecting your business, because I thought as a lawyer, the more complicated situations that people are in, you know, where legal matters are needed, there would be more business for you. I thought that would be a booming part of your business.
Well, no, we're talking about people prior to the global recession. I was doing much better on the criminal front. Clients could afford their attorney.
Right.
But as a result of the global recession, a lot of people are out of work. They're not making the money they used to. Or some, regrettably, are what they call underemployed. That means they're working and they're making a living, but they're below their skill and educational level. Really?
That's interesting. So in the UK, we have things like legal aid. Do they not have any systems of legal aid for people who are not working and maybe claiming income support? They can seek legal aid.
Yes, in the United States we have the same thing. People, for example, that are charged with a crime under the Constitution are entitled to have the state, if they cannot afford it, have the state appoint an attorney for them. Usually that's called a public defender. Okay? Mm-hmm. Legal aid comes into being when people don't have the money. They may have problems with a landlord or a car dealership or something of that nature. Then they'll go under legal aid.
So doesn't that actually protect your business then? Because you said you were devastated. Do you actually get less then than you would charge somebody privately, or I don't?
Well, yeah. Not every attorney is works as a public defender.
All right.
Works for legal aid. If you're on your own, then you represent your clients, who hopefully are going to be able to pay you for the services you render.
Okay, I understand that. Thank you. Also, right behind this building, we've got the county court, I believe it is. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Right. What we would call it is the DeKalb County Courthouse, in which both state and superior court is located in that building.
Now, do they have like auctions there on that step? Because I'm interested in going there to film auctions. Do they have auctions where people's houses have been repossessed or owned by the government and they want to auction them off?
Well, they'll have, on Tuesday, they have foreclosure notices.
Yeah, that's all right. It's my aunt there, yeah.
They'll have foreclosure notices. People will be there. I guess real estate speculators and things like that.
What days is that, sorry?
Usually every Tuesday.
Ah, so we've missed it today.
That's when they have these foreclosure notices are given out usually every Tuesday in the courts in Georgia.
So have you noticed that it's been a lot more busier?
Well, yeah, Georgia ranks very, very high on the foreclosure list. I think the three worst states in the country now are California, Nevada, Georgia, Florida.
Really? So is Georgia
ranking highest on foreclosures? Yeah.
Okay, and what about in regards to deficit, the government's deficit in Georgia?
Well, the state of Georgia, I believe, is between $1 and $2 billion behind, and the reason is because of the global recession. We went through a real estate boom and then a bust, and with the bust and of course high unemployment, states and municipalities are collecting a lot less in property taxes. And less property taxes basically mean less money for the state to expend money in, for example, the general welfare fund.
Right.
So many states, Georgia, Nevada, California, are just three examples of states that are experiencing tremendous budget shortfalls.
Okay.
And it's led to a tremendous cut in services, police, fire, municipal workers.
So obviously that's personally affected you.
Oh,
as
absolutely,
well,
absolutely.
with the income.
Yeah.
So what do you think about President Obama, and what do you think? He talked about a lot about changes and whatnot. Has there been any changes that he's done as a president?
What happened was, when the president came into office, we were losing 800,000 jobs a month. The American economy was on the verge of having the Great Depression. And something dramatic had to be done, and he instituted federal involvement, the TARP program, continued the stimulus plan under President George Bush, and it caused a great deal of federal spending, which I think is probably is responsible for the large deficit we have in our budget, federal budget. But also, it was he was stuck really between a rock and a hard place. And the way I look at it, I think he's doing a lot of the things that Franklin Roosevelt started to do when he came into office in 1933.
Okay.
Banking and regulatory reform, reform of Wall Street, the stimulus plan, propping up various industries in the United States. But the budget deficit that the country's facing is also serious.
Okay. So, in saying that, you think he's doing a lot of great things like Roosevelt was doing. So what about, what's your opinion? I don't know too much about this, but this new health reform that he's pushed through the first stage, is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? For me, from what I hear, a lot of people I know who are doing very well over here, people I know, and they don't think it's a good thing because it's going to cost a country that is already in a lot of debt a lot more money.
Well,
what's your opinion on that?
The health insurance bill that Congress passed, something had to be done to try to rein in health care costs. Over the years, health care costs have been going through the roof. You've had abuses by American insurance companies denying people coverage for pre-existing conditions. Another thing was what they called rescission. Rescission would happen when somebody had legitimate insurance,
right,
and let's say their wife got breast cancer, then what they would do would now that it started to cost the insurance company a lot of money, they'd start canceling the policies. Okay, so there was a lot of abuse in the system, and so he instituted health insurance reform to try to rein in costs and bring costs down. Now, maybe initially it's costing a great deal of money, but the concept is over the long run it'll bring national health care costs down and perhaps help with the federal budget deficit.
Damn. Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm just going to close up now. So, just one last question. Is there anything that you feel that can be done to speed up this recovery, or anything that people can do personally to assist with a solution to get us out of this?
The problem with the recovery, it's going to take, it's going to be a long, prolonged recovery. Unemployment will still be high, probably going into 2011. The reason for that being, as the economy begins to tick upward, however slightly, and it continues to go upward, more and more people will enter the job market, and that means more and more people looking for work. A lot of those people had dropped out of the job market. So unemployment will probably be around 8 or 9% going into 2011, so it's still going to be high. But I think we are making a recovery. It's a fragile recovery, but it's going to take probably into 2011.
So what do you think about all of these people, these conspiracy people who think that America may default on its debt or be in the same state as what Greece is in at the moment? What do you think about those stories?
That goes to the issue of the budget deficit. The budget deficit is a terrible, terrible problem. The President's appointed a commission to look into the budget deficit. There's no question that the American government has to get a handle on this budget deficit, because there is always that nightmare scenario that down the road we could end up like Greece.
Okay, thank you very much. One last question. Would you invest in gold and silver in this current market? What do you think about gold and silver?
I'm not very knowledgeable about it. I think gold and silver is too speculative. The price is too volatile for the average person, which I consider myself to be. A safer place to put your money right now, I think, is in cash. Okay.
Really?
Cash. Yeah.
Okay. Great. Thank you very much for your time, and say goodbye to everybody in London. I really do appreciate your time. You have a good day.
One more thing.
Yeah.
In the words of my dad, flyer with the 8th Air Force, God bless the British people.
Thank you. God bless you, sir, as well. Okay. Thank you very much.